Afternoon, everyone. I am Valerie B., your host of TNT News Live. I want to say thank you so much for continuing to join us every single Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is such a pleasure and an honor to have you all continue to join us. So, as we always do every single week, if this is your first time joining us, put a thumbs up in the chat. This is your second time joining us. We want you to put another thumbs up. And if it's your third time, you are absolutely stuck with us. So we are so honored, and it's such a privilege to have you join us today. If you're chiming in from anywhere in the world, we would like to know where you're chiming in from. Let us know, so that we can be able to give you a shout out and show our appreciation for continuing to join us every single week. This is Testimony News Tuesday, where we are trading our stories for God's glory. And I am excited to have our special guest that's going to join us today as she talks about faith, her family, her counseling business, as well as her just being a mom. We're so excited to have this gem, Carolada, come and join us today. Good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome, sis. We're so happy to have you.
Hi.
Everybody say hey to Carol as she joins us today and shares her story. Her story is about all the great things that she has going on. Hey,
Hey,
Serena.
Serena.
Saying hey, TNT. So, it's such an honor to have you on. I'm so excited to hear all the amazing things that you have going on and to share with the world, because everybody needs to know all the great things that you have going on. You are just amazing.
Thank you, sis. I think the same about you, and I truly appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I will do it 100,000 times over. Every time you have something coming up, you can come on here. So Serena, what? Carol. I'm sorry. I'm mixing you up. Sorry. Carol just wrote an amazing journal. She has a devotion. Is it a devotional that she just wrote?
It is it's a journal. It's an anxiety journal. So you can use it for anxiety, or it's just a really good journal. So I'll talk about that more. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll talk about that. She just wrote her journal, so she'll be sharing that with you all. And then she has her counseling business called Serene Counseling. So I'm excited for her to just share a few things about what she has going on. So Carol, can you let the audience know who you are and what you have going on?
All right. So, hi everyone. I am Carol. Um, I know my name shows as Carolada Gilbert. So, yeah, I have been doing counseling for since like 2009. But in 2000, at the end of 2021, I started my own counseling business, Serene Counseling and Wellness, and this year has really taken off. I am separating and officially starting by myself. So I'm really excited about that. Just yeah, God is amazing and what He's been doing and teaching me in this process. So I'm very excited about that. As she said, I am married, have been married to my wonderful husband for it's going on 3 years this year, and we have a son that will be 2 next month, and time just goes by too quick. So yes, and I'm also a minister at my church, Healing Center Church, where my apostle is Jason J. Palmer. And yeah, just God's been doing amazing things. Like she said, I recently came out with a journal in February. And yeah, God's just been amazing. So I can't wait to talk more about it. And that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Well, we are excited to learn about you and all the amazing things that you have going on. So, you've been married. You said, how long have you been married now?
2 full years, going on 3 years in August of this year.
That is so awesome. Congratulations to your upcoming anniversary.
Thank you.
And I just seen you put a post up today saying that your baby just turned 2 years old and he's two already. It just happened so fast.
Yeah, I'm like, "My baby," I was like, "I just brought him home from the hospital, like, what's going on?"
Yeah, these babies, they grow up so fast. He's so handsome.
Thank you.
Any thoughts of having any more in the near future?
I said we'd try again this year, but, it's gonna have to be very strategic because I call my husband, he's like, George Foreman. So, my son was born April 30th.
Mhm.
My husband was born May 4th. Um, my bonus baby, my daughter, she was born, what is it, May 7th, 6th or 7th. So I'm like, "You got too many." No, I said, "No more babies around here. We have to be very strategic, of when the next baby comes."
Yeah, absolutely. That is so funny, but that's how it happens sometimes. So you wrote a journal, and we're
Mhm.
excited to know more about your journal. What was your thought process behind writing an anxiety journal, which is phenomenal, by the way?
Yeah, so I really wanted to develop a tool for people just to get some coping skills, but most of all, to be able to journal and write. A lot of people don't realize how therapeutic writing is, and as we know, writing has become a lost art. They barely teach it in schools now. But there's something about writing stuff down and getting it out your mind and on paper.
Mhm.
You're able to, I always tell my clients, like, you may not like journaling, but there's something about just writing it down and sometimes revisiting it or writing it down and being able to forget about it, or even saying, "Hey, I'm having some anxiety," or "I notice I'm triggered when this happens. Let me write it down and see if I notice a pattern." So, the Bible always says, it talks about vision, but write the vision and make it plain so so that people can read it and run with it. So that applies to you too. If I write down what's going on with me, I can notice my triggers, I can notice what's bothering me, or I can realize what is bothering me so that I can work towards moving past it.
Mhm.
And also in the journal, it includes some coping skills. So a lot of it is journaling, and I put some awesome quotes that, help you overcome your anxiety and may encourage you. But a lot of it is also coping skills, like realizing that, hey, when I have an anxiety flare up, because it's something we've all dealt with, whether you have a actual mental health diagnosis where it's chronic or where it's like, hey, I'm struggling with my mental health.
Mhm.
I'm struggling with being anxious about this test that's coming up, or I got a bill that's paid and they ain't got no money in the bank, or I'm about to become a parent. Like, how in the world do I do that? Just finding ways to deal with that anxiety so that in the moment it doesn't turn into something bigger. Uh,
Mhm.
oh, yes, name it and tame it. Yeah, just being able to write it down and say, hey, this is what's happening. And hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Well, yes, I think that that is very powerful. I actually use that coping mechanism many times. I'm actually a writer
Oh,
at my core, and the reason why is I started writing because people were just handing me journals, and then next thing you know, I started to use them when I was having difficult times. So you are absolutely right about how journaling will can help you get over those anxieties. So thank you for sharing that because it's very vital having a journal. And I know that a lot of people say they're not writers, but for those reasons, that'd be a great way to start your writing process.
very much so.
I see that Giovanna Russell said that she loves to journal and write. Yes, it really is helpful. So thank you for sharing that. You know, you've been in the business now for you say your business is really banging at this time. So congratulations to you on the success of your business flourishing like it is.
Yeah.
How long have you had your counseling business now?
Well, I will say I got the LLC back in November of 2021 when I took the leap of faith and left my full-time job. Um, so I've been practicing under someone, but now this year I'm officially trying to break away from the other practices that I'm a part of to be fully established on my own.
Awesome. Awesome. What type of work were you doing before you got into therapy?
I was a still social worker, but I was a medical social worker, so I worked at the VA hospital, so the Veteran Affairs Hospital. Yes, I know. I left that good paying job and them great benefits, but um, the I will say God led me, and in the beginning of my journey, I was like, Lord, is this you? Like, are you sure you want me to do this? Because this is hard. Like, they tell you when you start this, like, yeah, you can make up to six figures being a therapist. You can own your own practice. But they forget to tell you those fine details of what all that involves and how they got there. So I just told my friend, I said, it has been a journey. And if any of you like sci-fi or fantasy, it has been a Lord of the Rings journey, not
Mhm.
a Wizard of the Oz journey. So there has been some dragons, there has been some losses. It's been a lot going on, but God has brought me to this point where I can say, I'm on the other side. Things are getting better. I'm seeing the fruit of my hard work. And even through it all, I've had peace being in this job and working my passion versus being at the VA.
Wow. So let me ask you this. How does you working at the VA, doing what you were doing with social work and now therapy tie in together?
Well, I will say hospital, what medical social work, I feel like you do it all. Like when you're in medical social work, I have dealt with everything. I've dealt with grieving families. I've dealt with people who just got hard diagnosis. I've dealt with people just doing day-to-day stuff, people who can't afford to how do they deal with I can't pay my bills? How do they deal with I was independent, now I come to the hospital and I got to go to a nursing home? So, working in the hospital, I've been able to be a part of lives during happy times where it's, hey, I just had a baby. Well, this is prior to working at the VA. But hey, I just had a baby. This is happy times, to all the way where people like, hey, I've lost my loved one or I'm seeing my loved one decline. So it's really honed my skills on, hey, how do I reach that person in their moment, and that short term therapy, because they're in and out the hospital so quick. So it really helped me to hone my skills to be able to provide that support, that therapy to that person in a short term time frame, so that they can leave feeling a little more hope or gain a resource or an insight that maybe they didn't have before they came into the hospital.
Wow, that's awesome. I love how, you know, um, no matter what we do, it can, work together with what you're currently doing at the moment. So thank you for sharing that. So I have a couple of questions for you. I know that a lot of people don't even understand what therapy is. So I want to start with that. Can you explain what therapy is for those? Well, what type of therapist you are and what therapy is?
Well, I will say there are a lot of different theories and therapies that different therapists, whether they be a counselor, a social worker, a psychologist, marriage and family therapist, there's a lot of ways we can practice. Personally, I was trained in cognitive behavioral therapy. And
Mhm.
basically, that just means, hey, you got a behavior, you want to change it. So, this is where I come in to say, okay, let me figure out and use the tools that I have to help you change this behavior. So, that's how I was trained
Mm.
in providing therapy and support services. And then with my faith, I like to throw in, not throw in, but when someone comes to me and I'm able to incorporate my faith, I love incorporating prayer and the word of God and just encouraging people through that and showing them in the Bible where, hey, this is what God said, this is what God did. So apply it to your situation, or just let's use these skills, or let's up your prayer life and just see how this can change some things in your life.
Awesome, awesome. So, what are your thoughts for those people who say, I have God and I don't think that therapy is necessary?
Well, I say that God created so many people in this world and gave us so many different gifts. Why are therapists any different? Like if you are sick in your body, you're going to go to a physician. Yeah, I'm going to pray about it and pray that God helps me through it. But hey, if I need it's like what Serena said earlier, you got to name it to tame it. If I got diabetes, I'm not going to go around here just not knowing how to manage it. I'm going to go to a doctor. I'm going to figure out how to manage it, but I'm also going to do what I need to do and believe God that He'll heal me from it. And if he doesn't, then I'm trusting that he'll guide me and lead me and allow me to do the assignment that he has for me. And if he does heal me, awesome. I'm healed. Same way with mental health. Whether people think it's a spiritual attack or, it's our brain and our body changing, because we can develop these mental disorders. Whatever it may be, you need to see a therapist, someone professional to help you deal with it. Prayer comes into play. It can definitely be a tool, but there's serious mental illness out there where people are hearing voices, where people are dealing with some significant trauma. And not to say that our pastors and ministers in our church can't lead us and guide us through it, but sometimes we need someone with a professional touch to say, hey, let me try out these techniques because the trauma that you're dealing with is very significant. Or, hey, this mental health disorder, I don't know how to, it's not I need to cast out some demons out of you. It's your brain chemistry, and your brain has changed so much where, hey, you are your body's telling you that you're hearing these voices. Like, I'm not going to tell someone with sickle cell, like, nope, your blood is fine and you have to go get transfusions. Like, nope, don't get the transfusions that, will help save your life. No. If you need that support, it's okay. We can pray and believe in God, and that can be a tool. But also at the same time, I always use this. Paul said he had a thorn in his side, right? That God didn't take away. So we don't know what that was. So sometimes the things that we have, God may not heal us from it, but that doesn't mean that God isn't present and showing us how to manage it so it can be a part of our testimony of how good God is.
Man, thank you for that. So what is your why? Why Serene Counseling?
My why, I guess my why would be, um, I'll be honest, I didn't want to be a therapist when I started in high school. I really wanted to be a doctor or a veterinarian. But the way my brain works, math did not make sense to me. So I was like, well, maybe this isn't the right tool for me. So I went to a psychology class in high school, and I just fell in love. And I really enjoy learning about different mental disorders. But ultimately, when I talk to my clients, and I have one client in particular I'm thinking of, and she's telling me, Carol, you've made such a difference in my life, the anxiety and the depression and me not wanting to be here anymore and to act on my suicidal thoughts and feeling like I don't have support. You've really helped me turn that around to a place where I'm happy about life and I'm able to cope with things and I'm able to live and engage with the world. And that's my why. My why is helping people sort through life and figure out either A, how do I deal with this temporary situation that I'm in that's really disturbing me? Or B, I have this significant mental health disorder. I need some tools to help me engage with the world so I can live.
Wow, I think you are in such a powerful, blessed position. So thank God. I thank God for you doing what you're doing in the world. So amen for your life. um, so what about you? Do you have a therapist?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I do need one. It's life been life and it's been hard. And I've been looking for one, but haven't found one to kind of fit with my schedule. But I will say in the past, I did utilize, like, when I was working, I utilized an employee assistance program where they connect you to a therapist.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, do I have a therapist currently? No. Have I sought out therapy in the past? Yes. Is it important? Yes, because not only am I living my life, but I'm also trying not to take in everything my clients tell me. Um, so yeah, therapy is important when you engage with the public. So sometimes you need a tune up. So have you ever had a therapist?
Yes, I have actually, and I'm so happy that I did because she actually happened to be a Christian therapist.
Awesome.
And I thank God for that because I just kept on going through these same cycles and same patterns over and over. And we did like this brain analysis to make sure that just to see it wasn't like, I thought I was gonna have to be like set up to a machine, but she just actually showed me how my brain functioned. And it actually, was in relation with the word, just the imaginations, because I found out that the front of our brain, I can't tell you everything. I can't break it all down to you right now. But I remember the main part in the middle was our memory. And that's why it's so hard for like forgiveness to take place, because
Mhm.
we're constantly reminded of, the enemy tries to constantly remind, or our brain constantly reminds us of things of the past. And I remember one time I was crying and she was like, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, "I don't know." She was like, your brain can't differentiate when you were 9 years old and that happened to you until you now are 34 years old. She was like, "You're safe now," and that just frees something. So I thank God for my therapist.
Mhm.
I'm now 37, and I went, and it definitely did help me out a lot. So thank God for that. I've been a believer for a long time, but I do think that therapy definitely helped me out a lot. So thank God for you all in your positions, and thank you for asking that question.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing.
Oh, no problem. Why do you think people don't go to therapy?
Well, I know a lot of it is, hey, I don't want nobody in my business. No one needs to know my business. Or hey, if uncle didn't do it, auntie didn't do it, grandma didn't need to go to therapy, I don't need to go to it either. Or, that looking down on, for me being a social worker, it's like, ooh, all y'all do is take away people kids. Like, what you doing? So
Mm,
I think it's just that stigma of, the head doctor. Or, I know a few people in my life, they said, well, social workers, I can't trust them because all they do is take away kids, and that misconception and miseducation of that. Oh, and this is a big one. Oh, you see a therapist? Oh, you must got money. What
mm.
you doing seeing a therapist? And, we're thought of as sometimes a luxury instead of like a standard. Like when someone goes to the doctor, you don't say, "Oh, you going to the doctor." It's like, "Oh,
Right.
you going to the doctor, you probably should go to the doctor." But when someone goes to the therapist, it's like, it's either the, "Ooh, you going to the therapist? What's wrong with you?" Or it's the, "Ooh, you going to the therapist? Oh, oh yeah." Or, "I'm not crazy." Yeah, people, I'm like, listen, we all got trauma, like
Listen,
from our parents,
they,
like, I had great parents. I love my parents. But some
yeah,
of the stuff and the way they raised me, they didn't know better. So
yeah,
and the things we encountered, them thinking it was right, we all got stuff we need to sort out in therapy.
yeah,
All, whether it's long-term therapy or short-term.
100%, 100%. Even trauma with, I remember I was a child and had a house fire, and that traumatized me from, like thinking I was gonna have a fire, for a long time. Or people been in car accidents. I mean, there's some form of trauma that we've all encountered. I'm glad you brought that point up, because it's necessary for so many different reasons. I see someone said, "Or I'm not crazy." You seen that, Carol?
Yeah, the I'm not crazy, I ain't got nothing wrong with me, and you going around, I'm not gonna call people out, but you going around doing some stuff in the streets and, using stuff for substitute, whether it be drinking, whether it
Yeah,
be men, whether it be women, like self-soothing your habit because you can't deal with life or trying to seek for it. Or like Dana said, generational trauma,
yeah,
that stuff that we carry down generation to generation because we think it's right and we think it's normal because our family does it, or this is just what happens in our family and we never address it.
yeah, 100%. Um, okay, I think that you made some very, very valid points. What type of services do you offer at Serene Counseling?
So currently, I offer individual counseling, family counseling, couples counseling, marriage counseling, premarital counseling, um, and group counseling. So a little bit of all that. I'm hoping in the near future, the wellness part of it, I want to really do more group counseling. I want to do like some wellness stuff where we do fitness, like whether it be exercise classes or yoga stuff. I'm really into essential oils. So doing education about essential oils, aromatherapy, aroma touch, and the benefits that it has on your mind and body. So, I'm really all about the holistic, just not saying, okay, let's treat the mind and let's talk about it. No, a lot of times when I'm not taking care of my body and what I'm putting in my body, that affects my brain, my emotions, and how I interact with the world.
Oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I found out that it can cause a chemical imbalance, by just the way that we're eating a lot of times. So I love the wellness aspect of it because that's so necessary as well. So thank you. Wow, you're doing some amazing things, girl. Listen, everybody has to get connected to you. So, for future reference, if people wanted to stay in contact with the things that you have going on in the community and in your business, what are some ways that they can stay connected to you?
Well, as you see below my name, it's a shortened version of my website. So the bit.ly, so bit.ly/Serene Counseling. My full website is Serene Counseling and Wellness online, or I'm on Instagram, excuse me, Serene Counseling and Wellness 21. And that's also how you can find me on Facebook.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, let's check out a couple of the comments just to see if we missed anything.
Let's see.
Okay. I think we pretty much, covered everything. So I want to say thank you so much, Carol, for joining us. Thank you for every viewer that joined us today and, shared your insight and your comments. It is so necessary, when we all are engaging with one another. And as she said, you can stay connected to her. Can you let us know your website again?
It is Serene Counseling and Wellness online, or you can go to the shortened version that's right below my name, which is the bit.ly/Serene Counseling.
All right. All right. Everybody, make sure that you connect with Carol and Serene Counseling and everything that she has going on. Make sure you pick up a copy of her amazing journal, her anxiety journal. Can you hold that up one more time?
Yes, it is on Amazon, or if you live in the Metro Detroit area and want to meet up, I do have some on me, but it is also on Amazon if you want to look it up.
All right. All right. What's the name of it? Let us push it up a little closer to the yes.
It's called Free Your Mind. And it is not just for women, it is for men too. So I know there's also that stigma of men in counseling or men in journaling, or even the fact that I tried to make it kind of unisex, but it does have kind of pretty colors on it. But if you know a man in your life that could benefit from journaling or learning some coping skills, because a lot of men are the stigma with men in therapy and counseling is kind of decreasing, but it's still kind of there. So if you know a man in your life, or even, like I said, a woman who might be able to benefit from journaling and just getting an extra support, please pick up a journal.
Please pick up a journal. Okay. I think that is so great. We all need what she has to offer. So thank you so much, Carol, for coming on, joining, and sharing your insight, and breaking down the stigmas of what counseling is, and I'm pretty sure you brought a lot of insight and also help people to get over their fears of this whole counseling and therapy stigma that's going on. So thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me again, and thank you for sharing your journey on counseling and mental health.
Absolutely. You are so welcome. Anytime I can share, I'll make sure that I will. So thank you. So everybody that joined us today, we want to say thank you. We will be back here again next Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would like to be a guest on the show and share what you have going on in the community, your testimony, or an upcoming event, you can go to tntwithvalerie@gmail.com, and we would love to have you come on and be a guest. I am so happy and so honored that we had our special guest, Carolada Gilbert today, come on and sharing her story about what she's doing in therapy as well as her journal. So, it's just a pleasure to, see the amazing things that people are doing in the community. And she came on TNT today. So we will see you all next Tuesday. And I hope that you have an amazing evening. Talk to you later. Bye.